Environment is the sum total of all living biotic and non-living abiotic things that surround any species. It is made up of four main components: atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. No species can live alone. It needs interaction with other species as well as with abiotic factors such as light, soil, temperature. Consequently, everyone is affected by the environment, and environmental issues like global warming, depletion of the ozone layer, dwindling forest, depleting energy resources, loss of biodiversity. While efforts are being made at the national and international levels, it is also the responsibility of every citizen to use our environmental resources sustainably and protect them from degradation. Factors of the environment. Based on basic nature, the environment may be divided into biotic and abiotic factors. Abiotic components are the non-living physical and chemical factors in the environment. These are the most important determining factors that decide how an organism exists and reacts in the ecosystem. Biotic. All the biotic factors of an environment including animals, plants and microbial population are part of the biosphere. The biotic community is divided into autotrophs. Autotrophs, which trap solar energy, are the main producer in biotic systems. They are found both in terrestrial ecosystems like rooted plants and aquatic ecosystem like phytoplankton and macrophytes. Heterotrophs. These are called consumers which feed on plants and other animals. Consumers include herbivores which eat plant material and carnivores which eat other animals. Saprotrophs. They are also known as decomposers and feed on dead and decaying matter. They break down the complex organic compounds of dead plants and animals into simpler forms and return them to the environment as abiotic factors. They are most important in nutrient cycling within an ecosystem. Linkage between biotic and abiotic factors. Linkages among factors of the environment are pathways for the flow of energy and cycling of nutrients. Example: green plants utilize environmental resources like soil, water, minerals, carbon dioxide and sunlight to produce food. Animals and plants are ultimately decomposed to the abiotic factors. Types of environment. There can be natural, human modified and human made environments. Biotic interaction. Biotic interaction refer to the various relationships among living organisms within an ecosystem. These interactions play a crucial role in shaping the structural dynamics and functioning of ecosystems. In these interactions, species can get benefits or get harm or even be neutral. Competition. This occurs when two or more organisms compete for the same limited resources like food, water and habitat. Competition can be interspecific between members of different species or intraspecific between members of the same species. Competing species often occupy the same trophic level and compete for resources, food, but species on different trophic levels can also compete for space, habitat, water. The competitive exclusion principle states that no two species can occupy the same niche in a habitat. Therefore, the competition often results in exclusion, extinction, and migration. Competitive exclusion can be avoided if there is resource partitioning, that is, the population evolves to make use of a different resource, a different region of the habitat, or feeds during a different time. Predation. In this interaction, one organism, the predator, hunts, kills and consumes another, the prey. An example is a hawk hunting a mouse for food. Parasitism. This is a relationship where one organism, the parasite, lives on or inside another organism, the host, gaining nutrients and shelter while harming the host. Ecoparasites live on the surface of the host. Example: lice feeding on human blood. Endoparasites live inside the host. Example: Plasmodium falciparum malaria parasite in human blood. Mutualism. This is a mutually beneficial relationship where both organisms gain benefits. For instance, bees gather nectar from flowers for food while flowers get pollinated in the process. Commensalism. In this relationship, one organism benefits while the other is neither harmed nor benefited. An example is barnacles attaching to wheels for transportation without affecting the wheel. Commensalism. This instruction harms or inhibits one organism while the other remains unaffected. For example, the black walnut tree releases chemicals into the soil that inhibit the growth of other plants, but the tree itself is unaffected. Neutralism. This is a relationship where two organisms have no significant impact on each other. For instance, a squirrel and a deer living in the same forest may coexist without interacting significantly. Respond to abiotic factors. Abiotic conditions may vary drastically over time, which makes it sometimes difficult for organisms to survive. Species respond differentially to these conditions. Regulate. Some species can maintain homeostasis through physiological, sometimes behavioral responses such as maintaining a consistent body temperature and osmotic concentration. Example, humans maintain a constant body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, sweatening in summer and shivering and decreasing the surface area of the body. In winter are the methods of homeostasis to keep the temperature constant as much as possible. Confirm most animal and plant 99% are inefficient in homeostasis due to their inability to maintain a constant internal environment. They are called conformists. Example, exotherms. Cold-blooded animals cannot regulate their internal temperature. Exotherms includes fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and insects. Migrate. Organisms in distress situation can temporarily relocate to a more friendly environment and then return after the stressful phase is finished. Example, every winter, Kioladeo National Park, Bharatpur hosts thousands of migratory birds, although birds are endotherms from Siberia and other severely cold northern regions that become momentarily inhospitable to them. Generally, exotherms migrate to better habitat. Suspend. It refers to the state of low metabolic activity in organisms that are unable to migrate to more favorable environments. Seed dormancy. Seeds and their vegetative reproductive structures in higher plants serve as a means of strain resistance. Besides helping in its dispersal, they germinate to generate new plants under favorable moisture and temperature conditions. They do so by reducing their metabolic activity and going into a stage of dormancy. Hibernation. Warm-blooded animals unable to migrate may avoid stress in winter by hibernating. They decrease their metabolic rate, slow their body down, their breathing, and even their heart. Example, only mammals hibernate. Bears, chipmunks, groundhogs, dormice, hamster, hedgehogs are examples. Brumation. Only cold-blooded animals, reptiles, and amphibians which don't have fur or feathers brumate, similar to hibernation. Their body slows down and they may not move, eat, drink, or excrete for weeks or even months. Example, frogs, lizards, snakes, and turtles. Torpor. It is different from hibernation or brumation as it is for a very short duration, for hours and at any time of the year, by decreasing the physical activity. Example, many types of birds, some types of bats, some squirrels, etc. Estivation. Estivation is a state of animal dormancy characterized by inactivity and a decreased metabolic rate to avoid the high summer heat and desiccation. Example, earthworms, frogs, bees, snails, salamanders, tortoise, fishes, crocodiles. Adaptation. Adaptation is a heritable trait that allows an organism, such as a plant or animal, to survive and reproduce in its environment by morphological, physiological, or behavioral means. Adaptations are evolved over long evolutionary periods and are genetically fixed. Morphological adaptation. Some species have morphological adaptation changes in the body structure. Thick cuticles or thorns for less water loss in evapotranspiration and CAM photosynthetic pathway in desert plants. Some plants, for example, Opuntia, have flattened stems working as leaves. Mammals in cooler climate have shorter ears and limbs to reduce heat loss, known as the Allen's rule. Physiological adaptation. Some species have physiological adaptation that allow them to respond swiftly under stressful situations. Many fish thrive in the below zero temperature of the Antarctic Ocean by showing a fascinating array of biochemical adaptation. Kangaroo rats in North American desert are capable of meeting all their water requirements through their internal fat oxidation. Many tribes in the high altitude of the Himalayas have a higher red blood cell count than people living in the plains to compensate for low oxygen availability. Many African tribes have sickle cell RBC to evade malaria. Behavioral adaptation. Some organisms show behavioral responses to variation in environmental factors. Some species burrow into the soil to hide in extreme heat. Seasonal migration by birds and animals are examples of behavioral adaptation. Environmental issues. Human activities such as overpopulation, consumerism, and deforestation have led to environmental issues such as climate change, pollution, and loss of biodiversity. Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment known as pollutants that cause undesirable changes in the environment. Along with harming human health, pollution can cause a variety of ecological effects. Air pollution. The main factors contributing to urban air quality deterioration are the burning of fossil fuels through rapid industrialization, power generation, and urban transportation. Air pollutants include carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen oxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, and particulate matter. Water pollution. It is caused by both synthetic and biological contaminants and damaged aquatic environments. For example, organic matter that decomposes in water can reduce its oxygen content, resulting in potentially harmful effects for organisms such as fish. Climate change. Human-induced climate change increases greenhouse gas emission, causing global temperature to rise. This results in the melting of glaciers, rising sea levels, disrupted ecosystems, and an increase in severe weather events such as drought, floods, heat waves, and wildfires. Loss of biodiversity. From the Amazon to the tundra, biodiversity is crucial for the planet's ecological balance. It is being threatened by human activities like deforestation, urbanization, and pollution. Its loss leads to species extinction, food and water scarcity, and reduced carbon sequestration. Population growth. According to the UN, the world population is expected to reach 9.7 billion by 2050 without sustainable development. Overpopulation can lead to food and water scarcity and other resource depletion and can also exacerbate issues like waste disposal, pollution, and deforestation. Ozone layer depletion. Reduced ozone levels as a result of ozone depletion means less protection from the UVB radiation, causing several skin diseases including cancer. Land degradation. India, with about 32% of its land under degradation and 25% under desertification, has a huge task cut out to ensure sustainable land management. Conservation efforts. To protect our environment from the above mentioned issues, urgent conservation efforts are needed. Some of them are being described here. Pollution control can be controlled by checking the sources of pollution by implementing air quality standards, promoting clean energy fuels, improving waste management practices. Checking land degradation. Prevention of land degradation due to desertification, and deforestation is critical to achieving sustainable development. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change works on various schemes like National Action Program to combat desertification, National Mission for a Green India, compensatory afforestation, under CAMPA, Sustainable Resource Management. UN Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, aims at transforming the lives and livelihood of the people across the globe. Niti Aayog is the nodal institution for achieving sustainable development goals in India. Biodiversity conservation. When an ecosystem is protected, the biodiversity of all levels are conserved automatically. Biodiversity can be conserved using both in situ and ex situ conservation efforts.